right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Solutions by Lex. I'm Lex Brown II. That's Lex as in X-ray, not Les as in Sierra, or like the world-renowned OG. Although one day I do hope to reach Mr. Les Brown's level. I am Lex Brown. All right, and this is my introduction to my channel. I want to let you know a little bit about me, doing this unscripted. So, bear with me as we kind of just go through this conversation, and this will mirror how I would like this channel to go, which is mostly unscripted, right? We're just having a conversation as if it's just you and I, hanging out in the cafe, or at the office, kicking it by the water cooler. So um, about my background and about this channel. First and foremost, Solutions by Lex is a channel focused on your journey, specifically career transition journey, whether that's going from the military to civilian life like I did at one point in time, or maybe that's transitioning from just graduating college, and now you're moving into your career, or maybe you're shifting gears and moving into another career, maybe going from a technical, background into the medical field, or from an operations role into a sales role, what have you, whatever the transition is, we can absolutely have conversation around it. I've helped many people with their own transition after, of course, conquering my own career transition. So I guess I'll start there. Um, I was in the military. I was 7 years active duty in the United States Air Force, and also 2 years in the National Guard on the Air Guard and the Army National Guard side. So what I did in the military was ground radio communications and satellite communications as well. So it gave me a little bit of a technical background. Got my degree while I was in, and so I felt I was ready for the workforce at that point in time. So I decided to not renew my contract and try my hand at civilian life. And so I left the military in 2012. Within about 60 days of leaving active duty, I had a job, a pretty decent paying job, a cool, fun job back in my hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. And within 60 days of working that job, I actually got let go for the first time in my life, for a technicality during the onboarding process. So just to back up a little bit, I've been working since I was 13 years old. So at that point in time, I put in a lot of time in the workforce and never been fired. So I got let go for a technicality, and it put me into a tailspin because at that point I didn't know where to go from there. So as I was going through my journey, and I was learning things and I was trying new things, figuring out what worked, what didn't work, it inspired me to say, you know what, I'm going to write this all down and put it in a book, to hopefully help others conquer their own journey and learn from some of the things I learned from. And so, by the way, that's what this is. This is my book, Grit, Grind, Grow, A Guide to Conquering Career Transition. You can get it at solutionsbylex.com. That is my website, sort of like my link tree, where you can go directly to solutionsbylex.com, and it'll have the other links that are important, including a direct link for the book. But back to the story. So I wrote this book, Grit, Grind, Grow, A Guide to Conquering Career Transition. And in the midst of all that, I've always been the go-to person in my family, in my friend circle, as well as usually wherever I'm employed, to help people with their resumes, help people with pretty much writing anything, business proposals, pitch decks, you name it. But resumes became one of my niches. So I've written hundreds upon hundreds of resumes over the last decade plus, and all of the feedback has always been positive. It's always generated more traction for people. It's always gotten people noticed faster. So proud of that, and that kind of led me down to the path that I'm on right now, which is as a talent solutions consultant, and that's to the businesses that I have built relationships with over the years, and also with candidates like yourself. If you're watching this and you're looking for a job, or you're looking for a better job with more pay, or maybe 100% remote, or whatever it is that you're seeking, I'm a part of that process. And getting back to the story, once I finally did stabilize and get back on my feet from being let go for the first time ever in my life, my career took a positive turn. So from there, I've done some entrepreneurial things as well sprinkled in. So during that time, I actually went and taught a little while. I went and taught second graders math and science. Went up to Memphis with one of my battle buddies, who is the founder of Vets Who Code. That's vetswhocode.io, by the way, if you want to check out his website. His name is Jerome Hardaway, but helped him craft his vision and start the process for Vets Who Code. And we were a part of a startup incubator while we were in Memphis. And from there, I got hired at Dish Network. Quickly got promoted within my first 6 months at the company and became an operations manager. Took over my own office there and was able to relocate back to my hometown of Atlanta. And while I was there, was able to successfully turn around a bottom performing in-home services office into the top 50 within also the first 6 months of my role there. So, uh, but what I really want to highlight while I was there was helping other people succeed on their path because that's actually what I'm about and that's what this channel is about. So, I took the time to, change the culture there, to work with the people that were already on the roster, people who have been overlooked for opportunity, people who deserve the chance to get promoted or maybe to transfer departments, and I made sure I took care of those people first and got those wins on the board. And that began to change the energy, that began to change the culture, that began to shift our performance metrics, and that began to increase us and boost us on the metrics board. So from there, I moved on to another company where I spent a year as a regional operations manager. And while there, my brother and I we started our own business. So we launched Brave City Military Maintenance Professionals from the ground up, no franchise. Started with a mop in a bucket, backpack vacuum, and what have you, and put our own pitch deck together, and we rolled out and started pitching customers, and ended up with a corporate lodging company, um, a company that did show homes throughout the city of Atlanta, and among residential and commercial clients as well. So had some success with that. Did that for a couple of years, and then went ahead and sold that business off, and I moved on from there. My next job, my next stop was with Amazon actually. So spent a year at Amazon. I went through their rigorous selection process, and many companies have since emulated what Amazon does on the selection process. So was able to successfully get through that. Spend some good time at Amazon, opening up a new delivery service station in Florida. Where I reside today. But I learned a lot there too. So, obviously, why are some of these roles relevant? Let me just plug that real quick. At Dish Network, I was a hiring manager, obviously, as the operations manager. I made decisions on, who to hire, who to interview, obviously in partnership with, HR and with some of my team members as well that I, always welcome their input. But ultimately, I saw that side of the business, also as a regional operations manager. And then I saw the business that way through Amazon as well. And I've also seen talent acquisition from the point of view of entrepreneur, of the actual business owner. As I mentioned, my brother and I, we started and ran Brave City Military Maintenance Professionals for a few years. So I learned it that way. I've learned it as a military veteran transitioning from active duty to civilian life. And then I've also experienced this journey just as someone helping others, as a resume writer. Um, and most importantly, now fast forwarding to what I think is my most significant role thus far. And I still have a great relationship and partnership with this company, is my role at TechWall. So TechWall is a company that trains and develops military veterans specifically for high tech sales roles. And I was president of operations and business development there for 3 years, actually over 3 years. And now I'm still a strategic advisor for TechWall, but that is where I've had the most significant impact and I've learned the most about this field of talent acquisition. And I've also built the strongest relationships with companies that are looking to hire folks like you. So hopefully that made sense and brings it all together. Why I'm here, what this channel is about. Ultimately, I want to help you overcome whatever obstacles are in your path. I want to help you be resilient, endure, and conquer, which is the value statement of my main company, which is Fortify LLC. Again, you can find that link on solutionsbylex.com as well. But it's about the three phases of this journey, which is grit, grind, and grow. So, here you're going to get advice, of course, on, resumes, interviewing, negotiating job offers, negotiating pay raises. But we'll also talk about, related things like our mental health and well-being, about building resilience. We'll share some workout regimens. We'll do some, checking out places to eat, right? That make sense on a busy schedule, and still eating healthy and things of that nature. So I want it to be a very dynamic channel. So you'll get a lot of content from me. It's going to be very focused on what you're really here for, which is, again, negotiating offers, getting pay raises, landing that dream job that you're looking for, so on and so forth. And by the way, I do placements, right? So ultimately, you can reach out to me, fortified.co. Really just keeping it simple. Solutionsbylex.com. I have the link there. You can join the Fortified Talent Network, and I will help you find the job that's right for you based on your background, your education, so on and so forth. So that is a primary thing that I do. But this is really, again, to share content, to share experience, to share information, to share resources, and just to, build that rapport, hopefully to build a tribe on a quest, um, rather than a tribe called Quest. Hip hop heads will understand that correlation. But yeah, so I'm establishing a tribe on a quest. Again, I appreciate your time listening to me, rant for almost, I don't know, 12 minutes at this point. Most of my videos will be a lot shorter and will be a lot more to the point and bring that information that you're looking for. So, welcome to Solutions by Lex. I hope you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, also hit that notification bell so you make sure you get notified when I start to post new videos. And then, of course, I've got a Patreon and a Discord. All that stuff's on solutionsbylex.com. So, much appreciate you being here. Looking forward to having you on a regular basis. And leave feedback in the commentary too. So if you got questions, if you just want to send a shout out, or anything like that, positive or constructive criticism as well. Just getting into this, guys. So let me know what's happening.